What are we watching?
French Open.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
if you
great.
don't mind, can we take a few minutes to answer some questions?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Let's talk first thing. What was your first memory of making a donation?
I think it's hard to think back of my first donation when I was younger, but one of my first memories of attending a Jewish Federation event was when I went to the door that my mom was co-chairing when I was 9 years old, which was just, it's nice to have been a part of the Federation growing up my entire life.
Oh, that's so cool to be there so young. Cool. So maybe not as memorable as that, but what's the best Jewish deli in LA?
Nate Niles, the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Least favorite Jewish food?
Gefilte fish.
Popular answer on both sides of the aisle, to be honest. Favorite Jewish food?
Favorite Jewish food? Well, I loved, holla on Shabbat. Nothing ever wrong with that, but can never go wrong with lox and bagels.
Good call. We're going to get to both those a little bit later, but let's right now talk about the Hamantashe. What's your favorite filling?
I love my fruits, so I'm gonna say a blueberry filling was a great filling for me.
Wow, blueberry. That sounds delicious. And Jewish, by the way, with the blue. What was
Yes, exactly. Keeping in line.
That's right, got to stay on brand. What was the theme of your bat mitzvah?
My theme was Camelot, the place where dreams have no ends. And I don't know if you say ironically, but it was the colors was ballet pink, like what I'm wearing right now. Not planned at all, I promise you.
Did you ride in on a pony or no?
No, but I was actually brought in. The song for my entrance was Dancing Queen, and the two of the dancers that we had hired, they carried me in on their shoulders. And after that, to make it even better, as a competitive dancer, I surprised everyone with opening with an actual dance solo to Perfect Day from the opening from one of my favorite movies, Legally Blonde. All the blonde, the pink, coming full circle.
So much, and I will be emailing Lynn after this for that footage. If you could go to dinner with any Jewish person throughout history, who would that person be?
That person. There are so many. I need to think. I would say being in the business, there are so many, there's a lot of, you know what, actually, one person that would be a fun one, Larry David. Who doesn't love Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Rachel Bloom, Abby Jacobson from Broad City, Sheryl Sandberg, what's the right word?
The whole group. Sounds like that whole group should be at Nate Niles having some lox and bagels.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. How many times a day does your mom call you?
You know what, we've moved more to texting instead of calling, and there certainly will be morning check-ins that we all got to do. It was her birthday yesterday, so I was the one to text her first, of course, wishing her happy birthday.
Have you called her today?
Not yet, no.
All right, you will though.
Right.
Favorite Jewish camp memory?
I only went to sleepaway camp once when I was 13 years old, and it was for 1 week. But my memory of that was, what was it? We did do the, what's it called? Like the I forget if it's the wires or what those are actually called. Like that, the high wire. I'm forgetting what it is called.
Oh, zip line.
Zip line, yeah. I think we did zip line there, but the rest of my summers were spent on the East Coast doing dance programs.
Amazing. We actually went to go visit a camp, and Emily, who's on the call, did the zip line as well. Did you meet your soulmate on Birthright?
Haven't met my soulmate yet, but I did go on birthright, so there's still, you never know, there's still lots of time ahead of us.
And there's the French Open on, so maybe they're on the court.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. All right, so in a little while we're going to turn the TV off. It's getting a little distracting because I want to talk about something that's going to be meaningful. Tell me your most cherished memory about being in Israel.
I remember, I think this is what a lot of those who go on birthright talk about, is waking up at 3 a.m. to climb Masada and watch the sunrise there. It was just, I mean, aside from the fact that we were up so early in the bus singing, we're gonna climb Masada. It was also, that was stuck in my head the entire day. I think it was stuck in all of our heads the entire day. But it was really just like climbing this big mountain, and it's not just that, of like being like sitting on, when you get there, just the amount of history that we were walking through to reach that point that everybody talks about as a memorable point on this trip. It really brought it, like I said, it brought us all together. We're sitting there, we had some of the members on our bus were getting bar mitzvah on Masada too, and it was just the peace and quiet of such a big, broad, just, it was such, there's so much history in such a big mountain. You don't call it a mountain, but just it's such a big piece of land when it's not, there's no trees, it's just emptiness, but the emptiness can be filled with so much, and that's just one of those. And I remember climbing down it, that's where the challenge was too, and I feel we really came together to conquer the challenge together as well.
Awesome. What a great group experience, and individually also. We're going to kind of cover this. Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld?
Yes, Larry David.
Favorite Adam Sandler movie?
That's a good one. 50 First Dates and Big Daddy were both great.
Great. Favorite Jewish celebrity?
I feel like it's almost like I can't make, I don't want to make any choices there. But let's see. I mean, I already said Abby Jacobson.
Okay, great one. Favorite Jewish athlete? Tough.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them, but there's good ones.
I don't know.
You can skip it.
What?
You can skip it. You can say yourself.
And you know what? I'm trying to like. I'm also just. I want to think, because there's other like Jewish. There's so many Jewish celebrities. Like, I wouldn't say it's Abby Jacobson necessarily. Yeah.
Okay.
I need to think of something like a better. I'll come back to it. Like, I'll think of another one too, and we.
Come back to it. All right. Question number 17 actually. Favorite thing about being Jewish in LA?
Hold on. The sound. You just muted yourself.
Yeah. Favorite thing about being Jewish in LA?
The Jewish geography. I mean, it's such a big community where, whether it's going to the temple for high holidays and seeing friends of mine that I went to Hebrew school with, went to high school with, or maybe just family friends friends of mine that I haven't stayed connected with in such a long time, and now it's those moments when we're able to come together and it's almost like nothing ever changed. I love, it's that, and then also because of that geography too, of meeting somebody who it turns out that you and whoever you're meeting know each other, have some of the same mutual friends, and all of a sudden we're all, like, all three of us have become best friends, and it turned out that our parents were all already friends before that too. Right,
yeah. It's happened to me, it's happened to a lot of people. Before we have the next question, that chair behind you is really cool. Let's go sit in it, and we'll continue the next question. That black and white, cool looking thing.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here we go. Going on a road trip. All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah, you know what?
How did you first get involved with the Federation?
Well, like I said, one of my first memories going to the dormitory when my mom was chairing it. That's first memory of being involved with Federation. But I do remember when I joined, before becoming a part of the Ben Bergens Society, I attended one of the BGS events that they had at the Soho House, and I just remember meeting the other young adults that were a part of BGS and already connecting with them and wanting to be a part engaged me, and it made me want to do more with the for the federation, with the federation to help grow my community and grow the young adult Jewish community in Los Angeles too.
I'm glad you're in it, and this is great. If we could maybe talk, we got a little more distance now, so let's raise your voice a little bit. So, let's talk about aliens. So if an alien landed on that fluffy pillow next to you and was asked you, what's the Jewish Federation? How would you explain the Jewish Federation to this alien from another planet?
The Jewish Federation is a community of Jews that brings together the Jewish community all over the world. We create a community, and we also give back to the community, whether it is the next generation of children, those in Israel, in times like what we're going through right now. We are there to educate, to support, and to progress and create opportunity for those that may not necessarily have that.
Beautiful. Well said. I'm going to skip the next one because you've already said it, but I want to make sure that if you're counting in your head that we are actually doing 36 questions. So I'm skipping question 20 to go to 21. That is, who inspired your connection to Judaism? Not the Federation, Judaism as a whole. Who inspired your connection to Judaism?
Well, I mean, I think one of the biggest things for me about being Jewish is just Jewish values, and part of that is just the family that I've been raised in, that I grew up in, and my parents have always emulated just the Jewish values, that giving back, togetherness, and I would say my parents have been my biggest inspiration in the Jewish community.
Awesome.
And like I said before, my mom's leadership within the Jewish community too. That's something that I strive to do more of, following in her footsteps there as well.
There's mom. You think it's mom?
I'm gonna just hang up that call really quickly.
It's okay. Go ahead. I'll pause it. Wait. So who was that?
It was spam. Nobody
it was?
there.
Not mom? Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, no, not my mom. She'll call my cell phone first, and if I don't pick up, then maybe.
She's got the direct line. So then
again, this is like.
All right, let's go.
I'm being prank called, I guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's third grade and someone has a crush on you. Did you wake up with anxiety today?
No.
Wow, that's amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious are these questions making you?
You know what? I think I'm a 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, 5. 5 is good. 5 is good. Yeah. All right. Recite the 4 Passover questions. Do you know what we ask about? It's 4 things.
Shall I sing them to you in Hebrew?
Go ahead. I'm ready. I can use a little melody.
Oh my God.
Just the first part.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's enough before I shatter your eardrums. I do not have the best.
No, you're the first person to sing, and we're gonna keep going. That was great.
You know what? It's the why is this night different than all other nights? On all other nights, on tonight we recline.
Yes.
I would lean back right there, but
Lean back. Great. You got one of them. All right. Favorite Hanukkah present ever?
Favorite Hanukkah present ever. There's always this special, favorite Hanukkah present.
Could be something when you were a kid. Could be the necklace you're wearing, the couch. I don't know. What was it? Something good. Or meaningful. Maybe like your grandma gave you something meaningful.
Yeah. It's like my birthday is like a month before Christmas, so it's like trying to remember between the two. Well, oh my gosh, I'm like now.
It's okay. You know what? You're not material things. The memories are more important. We'll come back to that question.
No, well, actually, then maybe if it's just about memories, maybe it can just be favorite Hanukkah memory. I remember there's some one of them recently, like 2 years ago, one of my best friends had us all over just for a small Hanukkah party. Her first time hosting at her place that she recently moved into. But then there's also the Lockapalooza that I planned in college, like just a part of my Jewish experience at University of Pennsylvania.
Wow, Lockapalooza. We need to talk about that more because we may have to bring that up again. Tell us something you will atone for this year.
Atone for. I will atone for. I want to focus more on being present and enjoying every moment rather than worrying about the small stuff. It's about celebrating after the more than a year of what we've been through, of the isolation and not being able to spend the time with our loved ones, those that are not, like my grandma who lives in New Jersey versus I'm lucky that I have my family, like we're all back in Los Angeles. It's the friends, the family, those that we can't see, the coworkers that we're not seeing every day in the office. It's enjoying those small moments. It's enjoying those, like the small dinner at someone's house, just because all three of us can finally be together when we were all sitting in our homes alone for several months before things started to get a little bit better. And now going out to a dinner, going out to just to spend some time with a group of people, the value of that and just enjoying that rather than thinking about the small little moments that we always have here and there.
Well said. Definitely, I think the last year has taught us that those moments mean more than the presents. Tell me something you would like to kvetch about. Complain about.
To kvetch.
Yeah.
Complain, yeah. Complain about. I mean, when waking up early when my alarm doesn't have to go off for another 30 minutes, you know what? Would always enjoy that extra 30 minutes can go a mile.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Is there what Jewish value resonates with you the most?
The value of, I would say, there's so many that I value. There's family, community, and giving back to the community too. Those are really, family is a community. Creating a Jewish community or becoming a part of a Jewish community, and then giving back to the Jewish community too. I think full circle.
Beautiful. Not quite as meaningful, but can you get drunk off of Manischewitz?
Yeah, first time I got drunk, Passover Seder. Glass and a half, I would say glass and a half, but maybe like this much in the first glass. Yeah. Was giggling. You know what? I was certainly having a lot of fun, and it was very giggly the entire time.
I bet.
Made the whole family laugh.
I bet. Have you ever eaten a whole holla in one sitting?
No, I have not done that, but I wouldn't be surprised if my dad has done that.
I bet. Well, tonight's the night. Bagels, as we mentioned before. LA versus New York City. Who's the champion?
LA.
Nice.
LA. You know,
Excellent.
Sun's out, no complaints.
And coping mechanism during the quarantine, what was it?
Playing tennis. I've played my entire life, but you know what? Being able to just get outside and move, and also a great way to see some friends too. The best quarantine sport, a blessing in disguise that I already knew how to play it.
Believe it. I got to get back out. I think we all got to get back out and do that.
Yeah.
Describe your philanthropic leadership 5 years ago.
5 years ago? Let's see. 5 years ago, I was still in college, and my philanthropic leadership, I was a part of Holla at Penn, and the events that I helped plan were it was really about building and creating a Jewish community, especially for those that are freshmen. And you know what? It's tough because you're starting college. Well, there can be many people that already know people that are either Jewish or already know other classmates. There are also those that may not necessarily know that many people when we're first starting. So making Halal a community or a place to find friends, and a place to just bring to celebrate being Jewish, having Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services, having a Rosh Hashanah dinner too, a place to go. So we're already there, so they don't have to look to find.
Beautiful. And you're right. I think I could have used that in college. I'm glad that you were able to create that. Probably related. What is your vision of the Jewish future?
My vision of the Jewish future. My vision of the Jewish future, it just ties into the one word that I continue to say is community. As we're going through these very challenging times with the anti-Semitism that we're facing on social media, 20 minutes away from us in a restaurant nearby us, this is just really a time that we all need to, my vision is just not letting this be something that scares us, but making us stronger, coming together stronger, and having conversation, engaging more in our Jewish values in this community too, whether it's, I feel like this is repetitive of giving back, but it's just investing more time in the Jewish Federation so that we can prepare the next generation and keep the traditions and values that are important to us, keep those alive, keep telling these stories so that they're never forgotten.
I agree. Well said. What part of the Federation's work are you most proud of? There's a lot to do right now.
There's so much. It's how, I would say, just how Federation responds to the challenges. They're not, with everything going on today, we find ways of what we can do, creating, holding last minute Zoom, because we're all still living in the pandemic, still holding events so that everybody can hear the security initiatives that Federation is taking part of to help advance and to keep the Jewish community, Israel, and everyone across the world safe. For us to educate us of what's going on in the Middle East too, as there's always so many, we hear so much from so many places, but finding ways to educate those that are a part of the Jewish community as well.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's being able to, when there's a challenge that's thrown at the Jews, it's finding a way to confront, pivot, and not fight back, but come together, and how we come together.
A lot to do right now. Last question. Favorite TikTok trend? What do you got? I unfortunately never got into TikTok during the pandemic. I wish that I did, but it probably would have taken up too much of my time. Well, there's a lot of dancing, so maybe you can start getting on.
That's true.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. I hope that you have an incredible Shabbat and a great relaxing weekend now that we're starting to come out of this. And really, I really appreciate your time. You're awesome. And we'll keep up the good work.
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you very much. Shabbat shalom.